we didn't want to leave you guys. We didn't want to be like, oh, we're with the show. It wasn't like that. It wasn't an attitude
We loved it.
towards the fans. It was just, we wanted to stand up for ourselves.
Salutations to the nations. What's good, Angel Knots? It's your boy, Young Sinai. So, we all love the Power Rangers around here, okay? Today, we're going to be reacting to a video by the original Red Ranger and the original Black Ranger. It's titled Austin St. John and Walter Jones, Why We Left Power Rangers, Retell the Story. Now, to let you all know, I have already watched this video. I've even done the reaction video in its entirety. And I played it back and I had audio issues. That was so discouraging. That video was like 30 minutes long. And I didn't want to re-record this, but I feel like what they said was so important, man. I just wanted to introduce it to my audience, you know? Please just go ahead and leave me a like for the simple fact that I am filming this entire video over, okay? Please, because that was so disheartening. But let's go ahead and take a look. Also, just reminding you all, I am trying to hit my first 1,000 subs. You feel me? I am going to be giving away a Trim UI brick handheld. How to win is in the community tab when you subscribe. So go ahead and sub, and you can take a look at how to potentially win this Trim UI. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. This video is by fan work.
This is the part that gets me. We agreed that we were going to stick together as a unit.
Right.
We were going to fight this together.
Right. That didn't happen.
Very nice.
Well, different people for the different reasons changed their mind. I mean, obviously, that would be Amy Jo and David Yost and Jason Frank. And all of them had their own reasons for deciding, you know, we don't want to renegotiate the contract. After all, we're just going to grin and bear it. But we wanted to stand up for ourselves because we felt like we were being bullied and we felt like we deserved more and that we had earned the right to be treated like professional actors.
Hey man, welcome to FanWord. I'm Austin. This is my man,
Walter Emanuel Jones.
We've done a lot of videos. We've done a lot of work together, a lot of episodes. We have spent a lot of time doing some incredible stuff all around the world. He and I got to talking. We realized that while each of us has talked about why we left the show, we have never really done it in depth and not together. Man, why don't you kick it off? Tell them what you remember.
Well, you know, what happened was I know a lot of our fans were very disappointed when we left the show. I mean, we were disappointed. We didn't want to leave. We wanted to be there. We wanted to do the movie. We earned this movie. This movie was like...
And it was like 30 days before the movie.
It's crazy that they wasn't in the original Power Rangers film. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, it was like the catalyst to what we had built up to. So we went from nothing into like the world's greatest...
Wait till y'all hear this story. If y'all haven't heard this, man, this is nuts.
This kids show in the world and 40 countries and
90 languages.
Yeah, which was pretty incredible.
And it was going to be a $40 million film done in Australia.
The TV show itself was non-union. Okay.
Yep.
So originally,
that is problem number one.
We got a contract and the contract was not that great, but we were told, hey, you can take this contract and show it to your lawyers or to your agent. But first person comes back and wants to change anything, we're going to fire you.
See, he got a different message that day than I did because I was underage. So it was a week before my 18th birthday. And I was like, and I wasn't there. I didn't have a parent. I didn't have an agent because I wasn't an actor. So I didn't know anything. And I can remember them looking at me and I was like, shouldn't I have like my mom or dad here or an agent? And they looked at me and they're like, there are about 300 other people outside that door that will sign that if you don't.
Scandalous, predatory.
And that was what I got. I was like, okay. And they just told me, could you post date it a week to your 18th birthday?
Predatory behavior. That is disgusting work.
Well, the thing is as well, as an actor that's pursuing the acting career, the pilot was, it was a pilot and we were told beforehand, if this pilot gets picked up, it's going to be picked up for 40 episodes. Now, 40 episodes is unheard of because usually a series is 12 episodes.
A single season.
Yeah. A single season. Yeah. Right. And so 40 episodes as somebody who's never had a television show is pretty tremendous. And
years of work.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it was like, well, this is contract's not very good and it's non-union, but 40 episodes is a lot of experience to have under your belt. And if this does anything, then even if it doesn't do anything, I got.
Yo, shout outs to Walter's haircut. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I was flaming him on one of the videos I did about the Black Ranger, man, because they had that boy looking like they had a like they had a cereal bowl on his head and we're just doing line like but he looking clean.
40 episodes of experience on my belt as an actor, as a lead actor on a television show.
That's crazy because for me, again, I learned from all these guys because I literally knew nothing. I was still in high school. I literally dropped out of high school to take the job. So while he's talking about lead roles, 40 episodes, I knew none of that. All I was thinking was, I'm going to be a superhero on TV. Like, that was, wow.
Who don't want to do that, right?
Right.
Everybody wants to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Like, yo. So we did the show. The show became a huge success. Within the first week, they told us, congratulations, guys.
Your show is number one in the world.
Number one. And then we're sitting down looking at each other like,
it was so informal.
The world? Did you say the world?
Yeah. Number one on the Nielsen rating? Was that the same?
Nielsen's ratings and
it was crazy.
Yeah. So here we are with this number one kids show.
Yo, okay, this is a side note. Have you ever heard of the Nielsen rating? To my understanding, they basically see what all is being watched in households and different things. And man, I had some Nielsen rating people come. They're like, yo, we'll pay you like in gift cards, like every month to just watch stuff. And you don't have to change anything about your life. Like all you have to do is watch stuff. And like they put some device, it wasn't a microphone, it was something to detect what we're listening to. And my ADHD could not let me just like set it up. All I had to do was set it up. And I could have been getting so many gift cards and my family and everything. ADHD, man, be making me miss out on gift cards. It sucks.
The world that took down some pretty heavy competition in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Every day we're getting better. Now we've entered our second season. 40 episodes down in the tanks. We're the number one kids show. We go to the market and our faces on the magazines. You know, when you go to market and you're like, oh, that's me on the magazine right there. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take this juicy fruit. Thank you.
That's right. Back in the day, we had this TV guide. You don't know what that is now, but we were on the covers of TV Guide and Teen Beat magazines.
And Disney Adventure, all this.
Hey, you remember Disney Adventure?
Yeah. Stuff. The experience was amazing. Although it wasn't something that made us, we weren't wealthy. Obviously, we weren't making that much money on the show.
Bro, we were broke.
It was a non-union contract, so we weren't making a lot of money. It's not like we could buy brand new cars. I think we were driving our beaters for a long time.
Yep.
Eventually,
Imagine that, being on the number one TV show in the world, and you can't even afford to buy a new car.
second season, we were offered a contract to do a commercial. And with this commercial, we would get these free Suzuki sidekicks, which
were recalled later because they would flip over on their sides.
Yeah.
They're like, go ahead, you can have that.
Exactly.
Suzuki Sidekick. Let's take a look at what that looks like. The Suzuki Sidekicks. All right, so this is what they was offered. These little Suzuki Sidekicks look like little Jeeps. You know, they cool looking, they cool. But the fact that them was recalled, it was flipping over on their side is crazy. Let's get back to the vid.
For doing this commercial. Now, as a SAG actor on a commercial, you might make anywhere from $30,000 to $45,000 for a SAG commercial exhibit A.
That's just payment. That's not the residual.
Payment and residuals. And so that would be fair as a SAG actor. But again, we're not necessarily fair, but the idea for the cars was, it was incentive to do this, and we did it. And it was cool. The cars didn't turn out. We didn't get to pick our own cars. They just gave us whatever.
They should have gave them they Power Ranger color of the car. That would have been kind of cool. You feel me?
Yeah.
3 white ones. We got
I remember the other.
I don't know the other colors, but I think we got a little paycheck. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't big. It wasn't.
There's a reason we don't remember it.
Yeah. So second season, we're doing the show, and things are going well, but it was weird because they lowered the budget on the set. So the first season,
How do you
craft
do that?
service was like amazing. We had all this LQ stuff.
Craft
You know,
service is
like-
where they set up all the food on set so you can go and eat and get coffee and drink.
You know, protein
food
bars
truck.
and all this cool stuff that you can eat that was healthy for you. And the second season, craft service was like just
Here's your celery stick and
potato
your
chips
cookies.
and yeah, it was like not anything that
They made more money. I think he said close to $1 billion or $1 billion, but everything on set was worse. Tell me how that worked.
that's really healthy first. And it was weird because it's like that's weird that the budget dropped.
How do you drop it on
They
the
made
world's-
$1 billion in the first season. $1 billion. You know, $1 billion is 999 million. Add one, that's $1 billion.
On the first season. That is crazy. That is insane. I wonder how much Ninja Turtles made his first season, but I know it wasn't that. I'd have to look it up, but matter of fact, I want to look that up right now. Let's look that up right now. How much Ninja Turtles made. Let's see. It made 485. No, that's the film. Did not have a specific dollar figure associated. That mean it was low. That's what that mean, yo. That mean it was low. They probably, made the majority of their money on the toys and everything. I mean, that's the same with all this stuff, but yeah. All right, let's bring it back in.
That's $1 billion. 999 million?
If you spent every day on a street corner handing out a $1 bill, you could not pass out $1 billion in your lifetime.
You would
That ain't the first time he used that. He done said that a couple times.
expect that after all of the success of the first season that we would get a big bump in the second season, but we did not. And the show was successful and we had contracts and we were continuing to work and it was getting better. So it was like, we'll stick it out. So
See where it goes.
yeah, see where it goes.
Give 'em a face.
We're here. We're like, we're in it to win it. It looks like everything's going great.
I agree with all that. For me, I had people on the crew from behind the scenes, and they were probably talking to you too, all you guys. I mean, we all talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
But I can
think our
remember,
focus, yeah.
I can remember a lot of the crew coming to me off camera, being like, "Man, you guys should go union. This should be Look
Exactly.
at what they're doing. You guys are getting screwed. Blah 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 blah."
Dang, when the custodians coming and telling you, bruh, they paying me more than they paying you.
Because the crew, they were getting paid even crappier than we were.
Right.
It was really
They getting paid worse, obviously, but yeah, at least the crew was trying to look out for them.
about helping everybody on the set just get with their work, man,
just
not get
make
rich.
It, yeah, exactly. Make it union, make it
Yeah.
fair. Because when you're in the union, what happens is there's rules that have to be abided by. If you go over a certain time and overtime, you have to be paid a certain amount. If you got over that, you get like twilight time, golden time. You
Yeah,
get, so then you don't mind doing the work because, well, you're being
'Cause you're paid.
compensated for it. And
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as, just working the 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine your boss wanting you work all these extra hours, but they ain't trying to pay you extra for it. You know what I mean?
what you make is according to what Screen Actors Guild was called normal.
But what that does for the producers is it drives their budget up and they
Right.
get angry because now their margin's slim. But that's on a show.
Yeah, now they gotta get a smaller mansion.
So it's not making
Like, yo, I just took out this lease on this. This mortgage on this big old house, and now y'all trying to get more money, man. Y'all got me messed up. That's probably how they was feeling.
a lot of money. On a show that's made $1 billion, you're not really supposed to worry about just giving people a bump and taking care of them.
And that's in the first season. So second season, it's already doing quite well.
They said that they was driving beaters and stuff, man. Had to take Megazords to work. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Basically, it was unfair. It was unfair to the actors that we couldn't afford a house. We couldn't really afford a car.
The crew too.
The crew as well. Like
It was unfair is a real.
It was
He's being
unfair.
really nice about it. It sucked.
But we're famous, and that's cool.
That is cool.
That's cool because we have the advantage of having these amazing fans. And
So let me ask y'all, what's better, being famous or being financially secure? And I know when they said it, they were being facetious, but some people want fame and clout and at any cost, and they don't really care if they make any money off of it. But with me, nah, man. Even if y'all don't know who I am, like I'd rather take the cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And getting loved up by all these kids, and we are satisfying. I mean, it was
That's the
weird.
best part of the show.
We didn't even get the toys. That was weird. Why didn't they give us the toy?
That is whack. That is. You got your name over. Man, imagine if they would have took a deal like this though. Like, what if they would have said, "Look, you can pay me this small amount, right? Like, I'll take a very modest salary, but pay me like 25 cents on everything that's got my likeness on it or my character, like the Black Ranger, the Red Ranger. Just give me 25 cents on that." Man, we wouldn't even have this. I wouldn't even be reacting to this video right now.
It was like,
Bro, do you remember the jackets on set?
I still have mine.
Yeah, I had mine,
Yeah.
but I don't anymore
We had to pay for them.
because I had to. We did. We had to pay for them.
Yeah, it was like
That was like-
$75 for the Power Ranger jacket.
That was for the cheap one. Like if you wanted the lambskin one, it was like $375 at the time. That was like half my paycheck per episode.
Yeah, it was crazy. All of that being said, we're having a great time, but we know it's not fair. We know it should be union. We know that things should be better for us than they are.
Yep.
And then they came to us and said, guys, we have the most exciting news. 20th Century Fox is going to do a movie about Power Rangers. They want to use all of you guys. And we've signed contracts already with all of you guys to be in the movie. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be new costumes. It's going to
be big.
This big budget.
$40 million film.
Yes.
And you get to go to Australia.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. But we got to give you your contracts. And we're like, all right, cool.
That sounds
All right,
great.
Yeah, this is awesome.
We're thinking maybe we'll finally get paid.
Man. And then we get the contract.
It was a joke.
The contract is for 3 movies, not 1 movie.
That's right.
It's for 3 movies, which means after being locked into a contract for 40 episodes, locked in for another contract for 40 episodes, and being treated unfairly for 80 episodes, now we're going to do movies. And it's not just 1 movie, but it's 3 movies. So that means whatever I sign right now is law because I signed it. I can't renegotiate this because I wasn't able to renegotiate the contracts that I signed already. If I sign this right now, then that's what it is.
To give you a little pre-story, of the original 5, before Tweet Train came on board, there was a wonderful girl. Her name was Audrey Dubois.
Yeah.
And after the pilot
That's the original Yellow Ranger.
got picked up, she knew then we were going to get screwed. And she went to Haim Saban and was like, hey, this is jacked. You need to pay us more. And he fired her.
Yeah.
And he liked her. Like they got along.
Yeah.
And so we knew this. And now we're at a place where we're looking. I mean, I remember the numbers in that contract. I don't remember a lot of the detail, but I remember that.
The numbers were not great at all. They were like, I mean, it was like for what you would make on a major film. I mean,
As a lead,
as a lead. And when you think about a film doesn't take 2 weeks. A film takes months. I mean, like you're looking at 6 months, 8 months, a year to create this. So
from beginning to end.
from beginning to end, I can just tell you this: the initial movie that we were going to shoot was under $20,000. How many days worth of work?
That's stupid.
That's stupid. And then each additional movie was like a bump of maybe 6,000.
Wait, hold on. Let me run that back. How much?
That's stupid.
And initial movie that we were going to shoot was under $20,000. How many?
Under $20,000. Under $20,000, you'd be better off working at Burger King. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much. How much is that today? When did the first Power? Let me see some. When did the first Power Ranger movie release? 95. How much is $20,000 adjusted for inflation from 1995? Okay, so 20 bands was $41,968.37. Okay, so that's better than what I thought it was for sure, because I'm thinking 20,000 today. But yeah, I mean, to film a movie, that is ridiculous, especially how much money if is gonna make off that movie. Yeah, that's wild work. But let's see. There was probably I'm trying to justify it for the directors because I'm it's not like it's one lead role, it's 3, 5. My bad. I was counting. Hold up. I was counting the Power Rangers. Whoa. There we go. I was counting the Power Rangers on the wall. So it's 3, 5, and then 6 with the White Ranger. So 6. So 41,968. 41,968 times 6. Oh my gosh. They only paying them $251,808 for 6 actors doing lead role, and they're gonna make someone. I mean, how much money did the first Power Rangers movie make? 66.4 million. And the budget was 15 million. So I mean, they still had a hefty profit. All right, let's keep it going. I'm doing enough yapping.
Days worth of work.
That's stupid.
And that's stupid. And then each additional movie was like a bump of maybe $6,000, if that. It was really unfair. So we're supposed to do that. It was ridiculous. It was like, okay, well, we're no longer the amateurs that we were when you first picked us up. Before we had any name, before we had anything. Now we've created this show. We have a name.
Yeah, it's like you should have leverage by now. They should have leverage and be able to renegotiate their contracts. Hey, I understand when you first got me, I was just a kid out of high school. I ain't know nothing. I ain't know no better. This is my first acting gig. Speaking on the Red Ranger. But now I bring value to the table. Kids look up to me. I'm a great actor. Like, you should have so much leverage, but it seemed like they didn't have nothing. Also, let me know in the comments. Walter, is saying that this isn't his first rodeo as far as acting. What else has he been in? Because I only know him as the Black Ranger, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I just don't know.
For ourselves, we continue to create great product, and it's just not fair. As you guys should treat us like everybody else treats us. Everybody else should treat us like, oh my God, the Black Ranger, who's that? And they're like, you still treating us like, oh, you're actors that have no experience. And that's not the case.
Yeah, like we didn't just create the #1 show in the world. Well, not create, but we're the faces of it.
We're the faces of it. We are the creation of our character.
That's right.
Yes. Basically, what happened is we kind of got together and we said, this contract's not really fair.
He's so much nicer about this.
Yeah. The least it should be is it should be union. We're not asking to be, millionaires. We're not saying, hey, you got to treat us special.
Nah, they should have been millionaires low key.
But treat us
high key.
That's right.
Like a professional actor, which is what we are at this point with 80 episodes under our belts.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Seinfeld. Those guys were making 13 million and they shot 13 episodes a year.
That's not what we're asking for.
And their shows didn't have our popularity.
Yeah, not even.
Seinfeld's one of the greatest shows of all time, though. Like, my bad. Power Rangers is great, too. I'm not taking away from Power Rangers. They're two completely different shows. I love me some Seinfeld, man. George Costanza. Oh, my gosh.
And we're not asking for anything like that. We'll just make it SAC, make it union. So it's fair. And we all kind of get together and talk about it. And we're like, I think we should get a lawyer.
What y'all like more? Power Rangers or Seinfeld? Now that we're adults, you know what I'm saying? Tell me which one you like more, Power Rangers or Seinfeld. I am very interested in this. This is the weirdest versus ever.
I have a lawyer look at the contract. As a group, we should go and renegotiate the contract.
I was mad. I had a lot of people whispering in my ear, and I think they knew I was the youngest and I was probably the most impressionable, which I was. Walt was more level-headed, but he had experience. He knew the system. So I really looked up to him a lot on this stuff. So you definitely handled it different than that. But we got the lawyer.
And then we went to everybody and everybody agreed, yeah, okay, well, we'll meet and talk to the lawyer. And then one day we went into the set and we got the lawyer and let's make this happen.
This is the part that gets me.
Okay.
We agreed that we were going to stick together as a unit.
Right.
We were going to fight this together.
Right. That didn't happen.
Very nice about this.
Well, different people for the different reasons changed their mind. I mean, obviously, that would be Amy Jo and David Yost and Jason Frank. And all of them had their own reasons for deciding, we don't want to renegotiate the contract. After all, we're just going to grin and bear it. But we wanted to stand up for ourselves because we felt like we were being bullied and we felt like we deserved more and that we had earned the right to be treated like professional actors. Even though they chose not to be part of it anymore, we decided to just keep running with it.
We stayed the course.
We stayed the course.
And that was Walter and myself.
That was us standing up for ourselves. And
I'm proud of that.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't change
Tweet
that.
was.
I wouldn't change that. And Tweet
Right.
was as well. And
That's right.
And it was scary. I mean, I have to say, as probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. You know, here we are on this hit show that we created. I definitely don't want to leave. I definitely want to do the movie. This movie is the legacy of what we created.
It was the build up to everything.
It was the pinnacle.
It's the pinnacle. It's like this is like gonna be the highest point of what Power Rangers has been thus far. With us all as a cast, it's gonna be amazing. Really disappointed that the other three guys chose not to go with us.
Very nice.
But we decided to stay the course. And in the process, what happened as we were trying to renegotiate the contract, and you know, lots of things were said. Lots of things were said on both sides. The lawyers were going back and forth about, you know, oh, do you want to do the movie? Do you do 2 episodes? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Things are being negotiated.
And there was a little more money thrown on the table in the process.
Yes.
But it was still a joke.
So in the process, what
We'll give you $3. $3 raise.
happened was the other 3 that stayed were offered more to stay. And they had auditions for 3 new Rangers, which I wasn't really sure, but I don't think that we knew, or maybe we knew. I think I found out eventually
We
they were
were-
auditioning for other Rangers.
Yeah, they told us that they were going to start casting for the other Rangers.
Yeah.
We had reached the point where negotiations were just crumbling. We knew the other guys had cut a side deal, and we knew they were going to cast the other roles. And at that point, there wasn't much left in the negotiation.
It was interesting though, because we started doing car shows. So right now we do Comic Cons,
Which also pissed them
car
off.
shows. Yeah, well, because now we were understanding our worth. In a day, we were making what we would make.
More than we made in months.
In a weekend, we would make what we would make an entire season, which was crazy.
That's insane work. That is insane work. And that is a prime example of trading your time for money. Or not trading your time for money, rather.
It was like, wait, we just made that on a weekend? Like,
Yeah,
sign an autograph, just signing my name?
We were filling up, like, I can remember, I don't remember if you did the show, but it was car shows and other like county fairs. And I did one that was on an aircraft hangar somewhere, I think in Oklahoma. It was a hangar and the line was, I mean, we filled it up.
People would wait in line for 4 hours to come and get their autograph.
It was insane.
Wild. And so, we were not to the other guys.
Could you imagine signing autographs for 4 hours? Man, your hand would be like this afterwards. You'd be like,
you should do
this is our worth. We're signing autographs in a weekend. We're making more than we made in the first or second season, which is crazy. Like, that's 3 days compared to however much time we spent filming 40 episodes.
And we did the biggest show at Universal Studios for the owners. Broke Universal Studio record.
Yes.
Backed up the highway into downtown LA for 8 miles. Did we get paid?
I don't recall. I don't think we got paid.
There's another one we should remember.
Yeah.
If we got paid, why don't we remember?
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly, because when you fill up the stadium that Michael Jackson performs in, how much are those tickets? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was supposed to be one show with 1,000 people. It was like 4 or 5 shows in the
it was
biggest
like 6
theater.
shows, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had 30,000 people show up in the day.
Crazy.
So all that happened, and at the end of the day, we just couldn't find a happy medium. They hired 3 new people to be Power Rangers in the film. Everybody went off and they did the film, and they lived happily ever after. I am still disappointed that I didn't do that film, because I think the film with the 6 original Rangers would have been.
The film tanked.
The film did okay.
it didn't tank. I mean, we just looked up numbers. I mean, he kind of salty, but it might not did the expectations they wanted to, but tanked as wild.
Not getting the box office.
It would have been amazing if we were all in, because that's what the fans wanted to see. And I know a lot of the fans have come up to me afterwards.
Maybe it tanked for it being Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Considering the show made $1 billion the first season, and I guess it didn't even crack 100 million, but I mean, it was profitable.
Say, you know what? When I found out you weren't in the Power Rangers anymore, I ripped my poster down. I stopped watching the show.
Yeah.
And I know that happened to a lot of people. And
that's not what we wanted.
No, that's not what we wanted at all. We didn't want to leave you guys. We didn't want to be like, oh, we're over the show. It wasn't like that. It wasn't an attitude
We loved it.
towards the fans. We wanted to stand up for ourselves. And I don't think this story has been told by
not in this
the
detail.
2 of us. And if Tree were here, she would also be able to add her 10 cents, but she's unfortunately no longer with us.
Yeah, so kind of what sparked this video is you and I got to talking about it. I mean, he remembered things that I had completely forgotten.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So this is the only official, like, really us video talking about it.
Yeah.
He's here with us.
I just know we were all very scared and
terrified
of what the worst case scenario might be. When we ended up going through the worst case scenario. However,
But we got
I can
through
say
it.
this. Here we are,
That's right.
almost 30 years later.
And stronger for it.
We're stronger for it. And our fans, you guys are still with us. And we appreciate it.
Much love, man.
Yeah, but that whole story is crazy. It's very unfortunate. It's very sad that they just were taking advantage of them, especially them being kids. Like, they made them hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and were just greedy, you know? That's what I look at. I look at it as just greed. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Also, please make sure that you subscribe so that you can try to win you that Trim UI brick. Like I said, once again, it says how to win in the community notes. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this. Also, let me know which one you think is better, Seinfeld or Power Rangers. All right, y'all. God bless and salutations to the nations. Peace.
Angel Knot.